Well, how are you doing? Okay, there's going to be a video explaining the black swan argument and clearing up some stupidity around it that's been promoted by people who don't understand the argument or even the claims behind the argument. They're even claiming people who are doing live streams, I won't have to mention their names, who are who are claiming that it's not an argument, who are claiming that the modus tollens is incorrect and that it's not logical and whatever, right? And they're making claims about it that no one else ever made. You know, these strawman claims that no one made. So I'm gonna clear it up here. I already tried to clear this up 2 times now with this person in the past. Um, they're not interested in truth. They're not interested in facts. They're interested in their own live streams and what kind of rubbish they can promote to their subscribers to manipulate the situation, and that's what they're interested in. But I'm going to show here how this person and anyone else with them, right, who agrees with them, do not do their research. They do not listen. They do not learn. Okay, I'm going to show it here why the black swan argument is a solid bulletproof argument, and why this person and their followers, the followers of this person or anyone who's on our side, cannot or on the opposition side cannot debunk this argument. For a start, the argument to do with the horizon that started in 2015. That is not from January 2020. New Year's Day 2020 was not where that argument started. That started in 2015. But because it was so jumbled in with so many other arguments at the time, and it was such a simple argument that a lot of people uh, kind of looked past it a little bit. Now, I used it myself in the past, prior to 2020. I used it for different observations that the globe defenders would present to me and others. And I'd ask them, where is the horizon that should be at such and such a position if the Earth is a globe and the horizon has to be in this place? And they never had an answer. But that argument was taken um, and made into a logical modus tollens argument by quantum eraser. Now, a lot of people have issues with quantum eraser and they don't like quantum eraser, and quantum eraser hurt their feelings and whatever else. Quantum eraser speaks to me the same way as he speaks to anyone else, and I'm friends with him, right? If he's in opposition to you at that particular time, he will speak that way to you. I know, because I know him privately, and there's been times when we've nearly had arguments, right? So this, he doesn't. It doesn't matter who you are; he'll speak to you the same way, right? He doesn't like what's the best way? If you've got something wrong and you're refusing to learn, he'll let you know just how stupid you're being, right? That's the way he is. So people take it all personal, but he'll do the same to the next person. So it's not personal. He's just like that with everyone, right? If you're not learning and you're like, he doesn't mind if you don't know something, but if it's been explained to you and you keep getting it wrong and you misrepresent it and stuff like that, or you're making claims that that aren't correct, that he didn't make, and you're misrepresenting him or whatever else, then he'll let you know, right? That's the way he is, right? There's no BS with him, right? So regardless whether you like him or not, he's honest. The man is honest. He's my friend, but even if he's not your friend, you can be sure he'll be honest with you, right? So, all that aside, this is the black swan argument. It comes from the Karl Popper analogy of, if someone claims that all swans are white, then one black swan debunks that claim. It's simple, very simple. And quantum eraser used that against the globe claim of Al-Biruni measuring, sorry, it's the wrong one, Al-Biruni measuring um, a supposed radius to a globe Earth based on a dip angle to a geometric horizon. This is the claim, right? Now, in his time, there was no such thing as 7 over 6 or greater than 7 over 6r, right? Now, whether the guy ever did any of this, I don't know, it doesn't matter. Let's just go along with it because that's the official claim, right? There was no 7 over 6 or greater than 7 over 6 or globe expansion, what they're trying to claim to be refraction. It's just an expansion. It's just an expansion in size of their globe. So it's claimed basically, if you look at his the claim concerning Alberoni, it's a claim of a day when there was no globe atmosphere, right? So it was a vacuum that day, right? If you think of it that way, it's how ridiculous it is. But the claim still exists that Alberoni, right, measured a dip angle to an horizon that he calculated a radius for a globe Earth from, right? That's the claim, right? This is what has been shown to people, and this is the modus tollens by quantum eraser, right? So the modus tollens goes as if P then Q, not Q, therefore not P. That's modus tollens, right? And the black swan argument is if the Earth is a sphere with a radius of 3,959 miles, P, then horizon distance measurements must be no more than 1.225 times the square root of observer's height in feet, right? Q. Not Q, horizon distance is greater than 9.41 miles, therefore not P. What he's speaking about there, right? Sorry, I just finished it there. It says Earth is not a sphere, just so no one thinks I'm leaving that out. Okay, speaking about there is here, obviously, right? The black swan photo. Now, there's been many photos. Every photograph, like technically according to the globe followers, every photograph has at least 7 over 6r, if not greater than 7 over 6r, what they globe expansion, what they're trying to claim is refraction, which is not refraction. But so the thing about that is the horizon will never ever is not a geometric location, even according to them, and it's always a claimed refracted location. So you can't get a geometric measurement, right? So there's no way that Alberoni could have done this, right? But this is the official claim. This was the official claim for a long time, and still is the official claim, right? So the whole point of the black swan argument was the debunking of the horizon being a geometric location. As kids are taught in school, that boats sail over the horizon and are blocked by the horizon, and buildings in the distance are blocked by the horizon by a geometric Earth curve. That is the claim. What the black swan argument does is it takes that claim and it shows it to be false, right? Because for that to be correct, then all horizons would have to be geometric and they would have to match the measurements of a globe with a radius of 3,959 miles. So here is the modus tollens again. This one I got directly from Quantum Eraser a good long time ago. If P then Q, not Q, therefore not P. If the Earth is a sphere with a radius of 3,959 miles, P, then any horizon distance measurement must be no more than 1.225 times the square root of observer's height in feet. Q, geometric horizon, curve calculators, etc. Because that's what they promote, right? Not Q, horizon distance greater than 9.41 miles, therefore not P, right? Earth is not a sphere. How I would normally say it to somebody would be myself personally, is I simplify it. I say if Earth is a sphere with a radius of 3,959 miles P, then from a 1 foot observation height, the horizon can be no more than 1.23 miles from the observer. Not Q, the horizon is more than 1.23 miles from a 1 foot observation height. So not P, the Earth is not a globe with a radius of 3,959 miles. But a lot of people are jumping on this. Earth is not a sphere. As they say, his original statement was, if Earth is a sphere with a radius of 3,959 miles. But he's not putting it in down here. Now, I think in the original Black Swan, he did put it in. But in this one, he just put it in, Earth is not a sphere. And people are jumping on a couple of stupid points. They're jumping on, no one ever measured the distance to the horizon. A quantum eraser never claimed anyone measured the distance to the horizon. He's saying there is a claim that there's measurements of a distance to the horizon, right? That is the claim, right? That there is a claim, and that claim was based on Al-Biruni, right? There was a claim that Al-Biruni measured a dip to a geometric horizon, which would be an exact distance from his location. For him to do the maths, it would have to be at the right distance based on his height above sea level, right? So it's not quantum eraser's claim that someone measured the distance to the horizon. He's using the official globe claim that there is a measured distance. That's what he did. Very simple, right? And it shows in the Black Swan photograph that this is not true, because it's a 1 foot observation height, and you have these demarcation points. You have Platform Hill House, which is 6.2 miles away, with the horizon behind it, and then you have Platform Habitat, which is 9.4 miles away, and still the horizon is behind that. So the horizon is beyond 9.4 miles for a 1 foot observer height, right? This is the facts, right? So the claim that that the Earth is a sphere with a radius of 3959 miles, right, is debunked by this photograph, this observation, and every observation that shows the horizon in anywhere that is anywhere different, except for if it's foggy or something, anywhere different than where it would be for an observer if the Earth was a sphere, as per the observer's height, if the Earth was a sphere with a radius of 3959 miles. But everyone's jumping on this, then. Earth is not a sphere. He didn't put in of radius 3959 miles. People don't seem to understand why he doesn't need to put that in there. If you understood the argument and the official globe claim, and you understood the globe and the globe model, you would realize that there's no need to put in 3959 here. And I'm going to show now why. Now, at this point, anyone who's following the people who are doing these live shows attacking the Black Swan and Quantum Eraser, anyone who's doing those and anyone following them at this point is going to be rolling their eyes to the sky and thinking that they still have an argument. But I'm going to show their ignorance right now, and why they're ignorant, and what they don't understand, and why you don't need to put in 395 down here. Why Earth is not a sphere is debunked purely straight on that, right? You don't need to put in the size of the radius, right? The claim that Earth can be a sphere is debunked by this photograph. And this is the argument that goes along with it. Another thing, before I go on, is these people are stating that this argument has been touted for 3 years to be the #1 flat Earth proof, right? Nobody, and I mean absolutely nobody, from Quantum Eraser down on flat Earth debates, ever claimed, not even one time, that this proved a flat Earth. You could infer that it points towards the Earth being flat, right? Which is what's flat, right? Shapeless, right? You could infer that, right? Logical inference. But that it was never the claim. This was not an argument to prove flat Earth. It was an argument to debunk the claim that Earth's a globe, right? That's what it was, and that's what it is. And that's what it does. It debunks the claim that Earth's a globe because it shows that there is no geometry to support the globe, right? Even within their own official writings and maths, they have to add in 7/6 and greater than 7/6, or which is an expansion, which is a constant change in the change and expansion in the size of their sphere, because they have to claim that the horizon is geometric. They have to claim that the horizon is refracted. So if it's refracted, then it's not geometric. That's the point. This argument is debunking, right, with this photograph. And it's not just this photograph, this is just the one that was used, right? There's every photograph, nearly every photograph of the horizon ever I've never come across a photograph yet where the horizon with demarcation points would ever match a globe of a radius of 3959 miles if the horizon was a geometric location. So to claim that the horizon is refracted means that you're accepting that it's not geometric. So you're debunking the geometry that was supposed to be there to prove a globe. That's the whole point. So there is no geometry and no measurement, so it's not a globe. That's the point of the black swan. It couldn't be more straightforward, but people seem to not get it. And because they don't like quantum eraser, they attack this. Earth is not a sphere. And he didn't put in of radius 3959 miles. And they think they have a gotcha, or they think that he didn't formulate the modus tollens correctly, or that he doesn't understand logic. And these people didn't even know what modus tollens and modus ponens was prior to him turning up back in 2016. I didn't know him. I didn't know about those things till he turned up. I'm not saying nobody in the world knew him, but most people in this arena didn't know him. And the people who are at present and the people making live streams, I know that they didn't know it. Yet they're trying to attack him on logic. And they're trying to come up with their own modus tollens that are not modus tollens. If you listen to them and go through the if P then Q, not Q, then therefore not P statement, the person is literally, right, the person is literally doing what he's trying to claim quantum eraser did. It's ridiculous. It's like it's not a modus tollens. He's trying to make a modus tollens, his own modus tollens. It's like, why is he trying to move in on quantum eraser's patch? I don't know what kind of nonsense the guy is up to. But his modus tollens is not a modus tollens. Just go through it logically. Put the P in the Q and the not Q, not P, and see where you end up. It's not a logical. It's not modus tollens. It's not modus ponens. It's not anything. I don't know what it is. It starts off in one place, ends up in a completely different place, and there's no connection being made. So, besides all that, and besides all this, I'm going to show now why quantum eraser never needed to put in 3959 miles here. Right? Very, very simple. Right? This is, I'm going to use the globe projection for a moment. This is the globe, right? As you can see, you have latitude lines and longitude lines, right? Latitudes, right, from 90, right, at the North Pole to 0 at the equator, and from 90 at the South Pole to 0 at the equator. Then you have from the prime meridian, right, around to 180 both ways, right? That's what you have, right? So 360, right, around in the longitude lines, and you have 180 in the latitude lines, right? Here is the original latitude and longitude grid. This is what it looks like. It's a polar projection. It's a polar coordinate system. That's what it is. Polar coordinate systems are flat plane coordinate systems, just like XY is a flat plane coordinate system, right? Not XYZ. XYZ adds in the elevations, but polar and XY, right, grid coordinates are flat plane coordinate systems. You can go to any surveyor anywhere in the world or any cartographer, and they will tell you, yeah, XY and polar are flat plane coordinate systems. Now, why am I showing all this? I'll make it very simple. From the center point here, right, this is the north center, right, because this is the original latitude and longitude grid. The north center here out to, right, what would be, let's say, 90 degrees south, right? So that's 90 degrees north here, 90 degrees south there. That's 180, right? So I'm just going to show why these people don't learn, don't do research, and don't do any thinking. Maybe they should try thinking. Okay, so you have each degree, right? Each degree is 10 degrees, right? So each degree is 10 degrees. So from 90 to 80, 90 degrees north to 80 degrees north will be 10 degrees. And each degree will have 60 minutes of degree. So let's just say 10, right? 10 multiplied by 60 equals 600, right? Now, right, so 600 multiplied by 9 equals 5,400. So we have gone from what would be north center to the equator, which is 5,400 minutes of degree or 5,400 nautical miles. Because nautical miles are horizontal measurements, right? Because they have to be able to convert them, right? They're a horizontal measurement because they need to be able to be converted into statute miles, right? That's why 60 minutes of degree will always be 60 nautical miles, right? In a horizontal, and or 69 statute miles. So this is 1/4. So we'll double that to get the full length of one longitude line. So we multiply that by 2, and we get 10,800 nautical miles, right? That's 10,800 degrees, right, of longitude, right? Or sorry, nautical, sorry, 10,800 nautical miles between the center point here along a longitude line from 90 degrees north to 90 degrees south. So now what we'll do is we'll take the corresponding longitude line here, right? So that would be another 10,800, right? So nautical miles. So we multiply that by 2, and we get 21,600, right, nautical miles, or 21,600 minutes of degree if you're talking about a circle, because every circle ever in history has 21,600 minutes of degree, every single one, right? So along the length of 2 corresponding longitude lines, right, is 21,600, right, 21,600 nautical miles. So if we come back to this, that means from here right down to there, right, and back around along the same meridian, right, will be 21,600 nautical miles, right? That's what it will be for the globe Earth, right? That means, right, but so what does that mean? So sorry, just going to put this down again. So these all came, where did it all start with? It all started with flat Earth elevation angles to Polaris. That was where all of this started, right? Flat Earth elevation angles to Polaris, which gave them the latitude and longitude grid out to the equator. And after that, they just extended it like this, right? They just followed on with that and extended it like this. So they went from 90 to 0, from 90, where Polaris is at their 90 degrees, to here, where out to the equator, where Polaris is at their 0, right? And they just extended it another 90 out south, right? It doesn't mean that's the extremities of our world. It just means that's the grid that covers the world we know. That's it, right? And that's all they did. But what did the globe do? They took these corresponding longitude lines and they made the 290 degrees south meet. And they got a circle of 21,600 nautical miles, right? It's just the hijacking of a circle. I've said this before, made a presentation on it, right? It's the hijacking of 21,600 minutes of degree. That's what it is. And turning them into nautical miles, right? Because they knew that's why things like great circle routes are mainly longitudinal routes. All these great circle routes, right? Nobody flies along the equator. Nobody follows the equator line because it's an actual circle in reality. The equator is an actual circle in reality, whereas the longitude lines and any longitudinal distances are all straight lines. They're all horizontals, from south to north, north to south. They're not a circle. Nobody follows the equator. So what is the proof that these people who are saying that quantum erasure should have put in 3959 of a radius, what is the proof that they're all completely wrong? And why is quantum erasure verified, right? Why is he verified for not putting that in? And why is it that what shows their ignorance and their arrogance and their lack of learning? I'll make it very simple. 21,600, right? A circle of 21,600 nautical miles. Let's just say, like they claim the globe Earth to be, after they hijacked flat plane measurements, right? That's going to be, if we divide that by 2, right? So we divide that by 2 equals that, right? And if we divide that by 2, sorry, I did that wrong. Sorry, not divide. Sorry. Right. So 21600. I meant to do divide it by 3.14 equals this, and then we divide this. Right? That would be the diameter of a circle of 21,600. Right? That's basically the mean diameter of every circle. And we divide that again by 2, right? That gives us our radius, right? That's the mean radius, if you want to use minutes of degree. That's the mean radius of every circle, right? And let's convert this from nautical miles, which is about 3440, let's say 3,440. Let's convert that to, right, to miles, statute miles, 3958.0949. And they rounded it off at 3959. So anyone saying the quantum eraser should have put in 3959 at the end of his with his not P statement are completely wrong, because once this is debunked, then once you debunk this number here, which is what he did, right, it means the globe, there can't be a globe, there can't be a sphere of smaller or bigger. The globe error can't be smaller, right, in radius, or bigger in radius. It has to be exactly this size. And why does it have to be exactly this size? Because it has to match the latitude and longitude grid that the whole thing was hijacked for the whole thing to happen in the first place. Because there, from here around to there, has to be 10,800 nautical miles. And from here around to here has to be 10,800 nautical miles, or 21,600 nautical miles. Which is why, when that's converted, when the radius of this sphere is converted, right, into statute miles, you have 3958.09. And if we multiply that by 2, we have 7,916.18, and we multiply that by 3.14 for basic pi equals 24,856.83. That is a great circle route, right? Now they have another claim that involves an oblate spheroid. No, the oblate spheroid has nothing to do with their geometry. There is no oblate spheroid in their geometry. Their geometry means that the equator has to be exactly the same in size as two corresponding longitude lines. That is the way it has to be. Their oblate spheroid claim comes from a claimed effect based on rotation, right? Centrifugal force. That's what it's about, right? It has nothing to do with their geometry. So anyone that's claiming that the quantum eraser is wrong, right? And he should have said the Earth is not a sphere of radius, so not P, the Earth is not a sphere of radius 3959 miles. They don't understand the model that he was taking apart. They don't understand what he did, right? And they obviously haven't done any research to understand even the Karl Popper analogy. I mean, it couldn't be more simple. It couldn't be more simple. It couldn't be more straightforward. Yet people refuse to do any small bits of research. I mean, how is this a proof of flat Earth? It doesn't prove a flat Earth. It disproves this. It disproves the Earth being a globe. That's what it does. It doesn't prove flat Earth, although you could make a logical inference, right, that it's showing the Earth is shapeless, right? So flat, right? Because flat is a way of describing shapeless. For those who don't understand, that's another video that I probably will make. But the point is it's not a globe. It debunks the Earth being a globe, because you can't shorten or lengthen the longitude lines. That will change the positions of the latitude lines. You can't have an oblate spheroid either with the latitude and longitude grid, something the ballers don't understand, because that will change the latitude and longitude grid as well. All the longitude positions won't be correct in the latitude lines, so all the latitude positions won't be correct as you move from north down to south, and the longitude lines won't meet properly at the bottom. They'll all be messed up. That's the problem. All the latitude positions here, especially as you come towards their equator and past it, will all be messed up. So when people claim that quantum eraser doesn't understand logic and can't formulate modus tollens, something they didn't even hear about till they heard him talk about it, and they claim the black swan doesn't prove anything, whatever other nonsense, or it's proven a flat Earth, these people are wrong. They don't understand. They don't understand the model that was taken, that the black swan argument took apart. They don't understand simple things like the latitude and longitude grid. Yet they talk about surveying all the time. It's unbelievable that these people are making the claims they're making. And they're arrogantly speaking on live streams for hours as if they have come across, as if they've transcended like this silly black swan argument. And the same people don't even know why 3959 doesn't have to be in there. It's unbelievable to me how arrogant some people can be, and how wrong they are while they're being arrogant. You're just so wrong. Maybe look at the latitude and longitude grid and its origins and why the globe can't be bigger or smaller, because that would change the size of the latitude and longitude grid, which cannot happen. But anyway, that's the end of that. I won't go on because I'll only end up shouting at because out of just frustration. I can't believe how arrogant some people can be and while being so wrong. Get your facts correct. Thank you.